Kayla O'Brien with your 6 o'clock news. Today we're going to be talking to a Barbara all about Barbara of Seville. And we'll be talking to Miss Clavel, the co-head of the Save the Music Foundation. Okay, all that and more next on channel 125, 6 o'clock news. Reporter Kayla O'Brien here at the Save the Music Foundation. We're going to be watching Miss Clavel Alardi teaching the public about her opera and doing some piano songs that she especially favors. Okay, well, Johnny, let's take her to it. Now this is Miss Clavel Alardi at her concert. She's playing magnificently. The concert is about to begin.
Opera is one of the most challenging forms of music and art ever. Opera involves acting, singing, costumes, orchestral music, ballet, other dance, and scenery. Opera expresses emotions so heartfelt that playwrights base their work on sad or jealousy, joy, love, revenge, and cruelty.
Look at that dress.
Our next piece is called Hoedown. Called Daphne, which was written by Penny, a well-known writer and playwright in 1597. Penny also wrote Eurydice. Daphne has not been seen more than twice in history.
Woo!
Early operas were known such as half songs. Part of the number was vocally dominated, for the other half, instrument and rhythm controlled a portion of the song. In the early years of opera, there was only one instrument present in the band. The instrument was the Victrolas. Victrolas were flute-like instruments that had a high-pitched tune. It wasn't until much later that other instruments, like the flute, violin, and percussion instruments, were invented. Next piece, square dance. Now we have the German opera. Opera in Germany begins with the opera Daphne. Penny was not always an opera composer, but his operas that he wrote for parties were always a big hit. When his friends traveled to Italy, they spread the word of his amazing talent. Italy fell in love. When the Italians went to the trade center in the middle of town every 2 weeks ago, they told Penny to Hamburg. Soon, many telegrams and letters were being sent to Penny. Now let's go to Kayla at the He-Man Barbershop. Kayla, are you there? Of Penny. Opera attempts to make German operas were very disgraceful, although there was one successful opera written by Ludwig Spohr, who lived from 1984 to 1859, which was called Faust, which was written in 1818. Another successful opera called Gisanda was also written. Both of the operas were based on folktales and librettos. This is the last song I will play for you today, called Square Down.
Take a bow! Woo!
Thank you. Now,
as you can see here, I can't really play the piano, but our own Miss Clavel blew us away at the Save the Music Foundation. She raised more than $10,000 building and singing and building this, beautiful presentation on all about opera. It was wonderful. So now we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and after we'll talk to a barber. See you then. Now let's go to the XYZ. This is the XYZ. Did you know that Claudio Monteverdi was a famous opera writer? He wrote an opera called Le Février, Le Offrio. Oh my God, that's so amazing! Next up, our own reporter, Elizabeth. Welcome back to the anchor desk. Oh my God, this just in. The first move that started the opera trend was a solo singing opera called recitative. Recitative is a musical declamation in a narrative and dialogue parts of opera. The dialogue from any play or story tale can be read as recitative. What will we ever do? Calm myself down. Okay. Next up, we'll see and talk to a barber about all about Barbara of Seville. All that and much more coming up next. Let's go there now.
Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Sherman, and we have a special show for you tonight.
That's right, Elizabeth. We'll be talking to a barber, and we'll take you live to the Save the Music Foundation.
All that and much more next on Channel 36. Now we're going to take you to my earlier report of Save the Music Foundation concert. Hi, I'm here with Miss Clavell at the Save the Music Foundation Opera. She is teaching parents, students, and teachers all about opera.
Is it supposed to be? Welcome everyone, and thanks for coming out to the Save the Music fundraiser. I'm so proud of all my students for setting this up for me. But this is not about the past, this is about the future. The future is you. The reason that you're here is to learn. But before we get started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. When I was 19 years of age, I was a professional opera singer in the opera Madame Butterfly. This presentation will be based on the brilliant show, so let's get started. The first ever opera house was in Venice in about the 1630s, which was run by Monteverdi himself. He started the first ever opera, which ended with a love duet. This had never been seen in the opera house before. Opera has spread from Vienna, Paris, Hamburg, and London. That was Madame Butterfly Scene 4, America Forever. The first ever opera was called Daphne, which was written by Penny, a well-known writer and playwright in 1597. Penny also wrote Eurydice. Daphne has never been seen more than twice in history. That was Madame Butterfly Scene 23, Con Amour. A group of composers made the difference between recitative and aria in Rome. The outstanding members of this group were Stefani Landi, 1590 to 1695, Domenico Maggiusci, 1592 to 1655, Luigi Rossi, 1597 to 1653, and Michelangelo Rossi, 1600 to 1670. Most of their operas revolved around William Shakespeare. Maggiusci had a brother named Virgilo, 1597 to 1646. He was responsible for composing Chi Soffri Speri, which was all about the idea of Hamlet in the comic like Midsummer Night's Dream. That was Madame Butterfly butterfly scene for Oriendo, written by Luciano. Thank you for coming out today. And
That was Save the Music Foundation by Miss Clavel. Channel 36 News, I'm Elizabeth Sherman.
thanks, Elizabeth. We've learned so much today, haven't we?
Yes, we have, but now it's time to sign off. Signing off, I'm Elizabeth Sherman.
And I'm Kayla O'Brien. Good night. Today we're going to interview the Barber of Seville. He is let our crew come in and ask him some questions. So Pistachio, do you ever listen to the Barber of Seville while cutting hair?
Well, actually, I don't like to play the Barber of Seville while I cut hair. It depends on the client. Sometimes I'll play rap, sometimes I'll play country music. It depends. It depends who my client is.
Has anyone asked to listen to the Barber of Seville while cutting hair?
Well, I've actually never had anybody ask for it, but if they did ask, I'd go out and I'd purchase it and play it. I'm sure it can't be that bad.
Do you have any products relating to the Barber of Seville?
No, I really don't know if they ever came out with a line of products for the Barber of Seville. They might, but no, I don't have any as of yet.
Have you ever seen an opera live or on a movie?
No, I've never seen an opera live, but I've heard lots of opera on the radio and on television. It's kind of neat.
Can you sing a little piece of opera for us?
Can I sing some opera? I can give it a try.
Okay.
Figaro, 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 Figaro. How's that?
That was amazing. Okay.
Well, thank you.
When you nick someone while cutting hair, do they yell ow, or have they ever said oh, like in an opera?
Well, I've never really had anybody go ow like in an opera, but I try not to niggle too much, but sometimes you get a little carried away.
Do you know if Cadillac named their car after the Barber of Seville?
You know, that's a good idea. It's possible that they did. You never know. They get names from funny places. Could be.
Okay. And do you even know what the Barber of Seville is about?
The Barber of Seville. Let me see. If I'm not mistaken, the Barber of Seville is a story about a girl named Rosina, a beautiful girl who had a rich dowry, and, excuse me, have to work here. And two men were in love with her, a count and a man named Bartolo. The count was very rich, Bartolo wasn't. The count wanted to marry Rosina for her money, for her love, because he loved her, and Bartolo wanted to marry her to get her dowry, because it was a lot of money. So what the count did was he went and he visited a barber, the Barber of Seville.
There you go.
And he asked the barber, how in the world could I win Rosina's heart? And the barber gave him all kinds of funny ideas, like impersonating different people and pretending to be somebody he wasn't, and just tried to woo her and date her and get her enthralled with him. And in the end, it turns out that the count did win Rosina's heart and married her. Bartolo got lucky because he got to get the dowry. He got the money.
There you go.
And in the end,
Perfect.
the count paid the barber, and everybody lived happily ever after.
You think that's pretty good?
Well, I think that's pretty good. What do you think?
Works for me.
That's all for now. Now to the Music Foundation.